Pitch Deck 101 LLC, out of New York, do more than just support our clients to pitch their businesses to investors access working capital at 0% APR. We also support our clients to grow and scale their businesses faster and cash flow optimize. Pitch Deck 101 LLC recent partnership with 10X Branding Marketing LLC and Global Capital Inc. out of the USA has enabled us to form unique partnership with multiple financial institutions, which means we can do even more to accelerate the success of our clients. Let Pitch Deck 101 LLC give you the support you need to pitch to investors, access capital, access new markets and grow and scale your business. Contact us now on 332-235-1099 for a free consultation.
Today, we're going to do a deep dive into the ecosystem of what it takes to build a highly motivated clientele base. Today, we will be looking at this topic. We will look at this topic in the context of market viability in the context of a loyal customer base. So there's a number of things that we will cover in today's program. We will look at how to gain customer and client attention. We will look at how to retain customer and client attention. We will also move on to look at how to attract the client customer for life and how to position your MVO. MVO meaning your minimum or most viable offer. So we have a lot to unpack today. So again, I want to encourage you to get your pens and get your paper because we're going to do a deep dive, high level overview over tips and tricks that can really position you to nurture highly motivated clientele base. Now let's begin by looking at the very first topic, which is how to gain client customer attention. One of the things that I emphasize in the last 6 to 8 videos that I have published is that it is so important to take the time to understand what is the ideal client stress test ladder. Think about this. You're attempting to get the attention of the ideal client, but then you don't understand who is the ideal client. That is a recipe for disaster. In order for that reality to be changed, it makes sense to really pause a bit and really ask yourself, how much can you learn from the ideal client stress test ladder? And today's exercise is being taken directly from this thesis. Now let's go a little deeper into today's talking point. So you want to gain customer attention. What are some of the first things that you should start to think about? One, you want to identify who is your ideal client. And to identify who is the ideal client, you need data. You need data based on demographic data analytics, psychographic data analytics, and geographic data analytics. And again, I want you to pause and think about this. To gain people's attention, to gain the attention of the ideal client, you need to understand who you're targeting. Again, the ideal client stress test ladder really helps you to understand the biodata markers of your ideal client. So when you're saying that you need to identify the ideal client based on the demographic, psychographic, and geographic, you have a blueprint of which to look at. Any attempt to gain client or customer attention, it makes sense to understand those attention in which you're trying to gain. All right. This is very deep. Again, I will do a high-level overview here today, but as we begin to break this program down to our community, when you get into our community, you will get a much deeper understanding as to what is the composition of demographics and what you should be looking at when you want to really identify the ideal clients. We will look at psychographics and what is the composition of psychographics and the menu of things that you should be looking at. And we will also look at the importance of geographics in this whole equation. All right, so food for you to think about. As you collect the data, step one, you also want to analyze data that is presented to you about the ideal client. Again, I cannot emphasize how important the ideal client stress test ladder is. All right, I've done something like an LP here, but I really want to point you in a direction where you can get the information that you need that is going to help you to make informed and highly educated decisions when it comes to nurturing a highly motivated client customer base. You need the right information. The information is the foundation of what you're attempting to do. Just like how a building, you can't build it on quicksand. You can't can't build it on sand. You want to ensure that the foundation that you're building your luxury home on is a solid foundation. So if you want to grow and scale a business, if you want to cash flow optimize, if you want to position yourself to build wealth, the foundation of doing all of that is to ensure that you truly understand the step-by-step processes, the best practices, the proven theory that is going to give you the predictable outcome with the highest degree of accuracy. You need the information. As you begin to figure out, based on the ideal client stress test ladder, how to gain the customer attention, there's a couple of things that I want you to also focus on. Now that you have collected data, now that you've analyzed that data, the simple ability to analyze the data should put you in that position of strength where you can now up level this data or leverage this data in a way that really allows you to command attention, to pique interest, to arouse desire, to move your ideal client into action, to make impact, to convert, to cash flow optimize. All of these things are essential. But if you don't collect the right information, it means in your analysis is going to be wrong. And in the leveraging of that data to command attention, pique interest, arouse desire, that too is going to be wrong. So there's a process. And when you take the time to understand the process that I'm putting to you at the moment, it will set the stage to minimize the difficulties that you encounter as rising stars and sometimes stars in business to convert, to create that highly motivated customer base. So I'm trusting again that you've taken some notes and you are prepared to implement these concepts. In the event that you need help to interpret and implement, adopt these principles into your organization, we have a team that is so excited to work with you to help you accomplish this. But let's move to the next step forward. You see, as you collect data, as you analyze data, as you leverage data, you have to ensure that you are market oriented, you're market sensitive, and you're market responsive. Why? Because data change, all right? Geographical data may change. And when geographical data change, you have to also adjust your processes based on those changes that are taking place. Demographic data change, and you have to be able to adjust based on those demographic changes that are taking place to ensure that your MVO, your minimum or most viable offer, continue to maintain relevance to the ideal client. So there are four important concepts that we have looked at here on the heading one, which is how to gain client customer attention. The first is that you need to collect critical information about the ideal client. You need to analyze that data. You need to leverage that data. And by leveraging that data means that you're now able to innovate products and services that is 101% relevant to the ideal client. Last but not least, you're able to mitigate the data because market realities changes from time to time. And if you're managing your business and you're not taking this into consideration, possibility exists that you can become obsolete if you're not keeping track of the changes that are taking place. When you are serious about nurturing a highly motivated customer client base, it begins with collecting the right information, analyzing the right information, leveraging information the right way, and being receptive to mitigating data to maintain relevance, to maintain your competitive edge. Important concepts for you to look at. Now, the next concept that I want us to look at, now that you have attained customer attention, how do you retain client customer attention? Because attaining it is one thing, retaining it is quite another. Some of the things that you want to invest in is what we call your customer feedback desk. Do you have a customer feedback desk where you're collecting information, you're analyzing customer feedback, you're leveraging that data to help the business to make informed decisions, and by extension, you're mitigated what needs to be mitigated in alignment with the expectation of the ideal client. Are you focusing on this? Because this is an essential part of the client customer experience. If you want to win, you need to have these systems in place. I want to emphasize a couple of things. Make customer service a priority. You want to invest in making customer service a priority. Create the customer, what you want to do is recognize that the customer must be considered as kings and queens. So you want to create the customer kings and queens culture. I know this might sound a bit childish, but I want you to think about this. It's a strategy. Can you imagine that every customer that comes into your place of business, you roll out the red carpet to them, you you provide the high level of customer care, you provide quality service to them, you left them feeling and knowing that they are the most important person the world has ever known, how much is that impacting customer relations? Think about it. These things don't happen by accident. These things happen by intention. I can recall not so long ago, I was looking at the shorts. This young lady was in customer service and she didn't know this guy. Of course, you don't have to know someone to give excellent quality customer care, but he was asking a lot of questions, and regardless of how deep he went, asking non-personal questions, she was very polite and she was very responsive to the questions that he had. At the end of the day, he gave her a tip, and then he left and he come back and he said, I give you the wrong tip. I know the average person might say, you give me a tip and now you're taking it back, and they would have showed vexation. With a big smile on her face, she said, oh my, no problem, and she gave him back the tip. And what he did amused her and brought her to tears, because he said, I give you $20, but you're worth more than $20. You're worth more than gold because of the attitude that you bring to customer care. And he placed a few $100 US dollars in her hand because of the impact she had on him. And I want you to think about this. These are things that you can duplicate in your business. And when you're able to achieve this level of impact on the customer, it is laying that foundation where you're nurturing that highly motivated client customer base. These are things you must be intentional with. Make the customer feedback desk a priority. Do you have a customer feedback desk? Are you collecting information from that desk on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or perhaps a daily basis, so you can quickly analyze customer feedback? You have a system in place where you are encouraging customers, or perhaps even incentivizing customer feedback, because that is market intelligence.
10X Branding and Marketing LLC, powering the next generation of unicorns. At 10X B&M LLC, we specialize in market research, brand innovation, market integration, and client conversion optimization. Our team of experts is dedicated to providing the strategic insights and innovative solutions needed to accelerate growth and unlock your company's full potential. Whether you're a startup looking to attract investors and your ideal clients, or an established business ready for market expansion, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC fuel your journey to exceptional business success. Contact us now for a free consultation on how we can position your business to become a unicorn.